actually captured, you know, in the development plan in a way that it puts it at the forefront, you know, of the 30 years plan. So we have the 30 years plan deliver on different mileage, you know, on the immediate term of the first year in 2023, and what happens in the next 5 years, what happens, even as that plan is subject to review, you know, we have the mileage of delivery of the plan. That's the Lagos State Development Plan itself. In the ever-evolving landscape of our city, this process serves as the guiding framework through which we navigate challenges, seize opportunities, also ensure that our scarce resources are distributed in a way that can give us the foundation, you know, of a prosperous future and a resilient Lagos that we dream of as a state. So talking about the brief history of transition, how the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget emerges itself from 1967, you know, just at the creation of Lagos, we discovered that Lagos has always run on development plan. Lagos has never been a vague state just running at spending without tying spending, you know, to actualization of set goal. So at the apex of the mind of governance in Lagos has always been a very tailored approach, you know, of delivering governance. And that very tailored approach has always adopted different plans. For instance, the first development plan that Lagos ran on existed between 1970 and 1975. It is Stag Development Plan with an expenditure of about 54.25 million as at that point in time. You can see how the journey began and where we have come from and translate to. So for anyone to just think that Lagos just jumped at a 2.2 trillion budget, you know, it's not just, we have moved the journey from million to billion and then to trillion. And the series shows us in this chain. In 1976, the state government established the plans, program, and budget departments in the Ministry of Finance. You know, that's the present Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget used to be PPBD then. In 1980, in 2011, you know, we can see how the transition continued. In 1980, Governor Lateef Jakonde moved the PPB to the governor's office and appointed the permanent secretary, Dr. Harso, as its head. In 2015, we are showing this history of the Second Republic down there. The department was transformed into the Ministry of Economic Planning and Lands Matter under Alhaji Gani Olatunde Osuneye. You know, that was in Second Republic. And at the advent of the Third Republic, the ministry was rechristened as Plan, Program, and Budget Bureau, you know, as Plan, Program, Budget Bureau. And it is from there that takes over to the Asiwaju administration in 1999, when Asiwaju administration created the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget from the SYPPB, placing planning and the people's participation, you know, at the very center stage of governance and development. And that happens because that government was critically, you know, creating the face of its agenda. You know, the 10-point agenda was anchoring, you know, on planning and on development that is tied actually to people's participation, people's voice of contribution. And it was also that government and administration that first engaged our citizens in a wide range of what is called a Enyigbetif today, the economic summit, where businessmen, different stakeholders came together and looked through the trend of history and were able, you know, to create resolutions of how planning will be able to drive development in the states, given the available data to them. So also, it is very important here to mention that the mandates evolve. The mandates of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget evolve to the present modernization of what we have as our mandate, which is to facilitate efficient and effective mobilization. I'm talking about mobilization, planning, allocation, and utilization of resources for the socioeconomic transformation of Lagos State. And that socioeconomic transformation of Lagos State is what we all are hoping and targeting at the greater Lagos when the story eventually becomes the Lagos of our dream, a hub that will be financially strengthened, will be economically viable, and it will be secure and safe, have its people enriched in the way and manner that the state is focusing on now. Then the mission is to ensure continuous and dynamic socio-economic policy through prudent and equitable resource management and distribution. Modernization, adoption of international and acceptable budgeting tools, such as the MTF, MTBF, and MTSS, has actually helped the states. The state has not stayed traditionally, put to one type of planning tool. At a point, we use the zero budget. At another time, we have continued to evolve with modernization, and today we run on this medium-term expenditure framework that is being explained here. Then the structure of the ministry, which has evolved from the traditional economic planning departments, the Central Office of Statistics, at a point in 1999 up through to around 2006, the ministry was still running departments such as the Central Project Coordinating Department, but necessity has, given birth to a lot of upgrade, a lot of redefinition of the departments in the ministry. And today we have 9 core departments and 4 operational units. And these departments and units are being supported by our operational units across MDA service-wide. That is the effective and efficient delivery of our service. As you all know, this planning unit serves as a miniature economic planning and budget in your various MDAs. The department today that exists in the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget also exists in a chain delivery of their responsibility from the Lagos Bureau of Statistics that used to be Central Office of Statistics, who has also modernized the delivery of statistics. As I speak with you today, we have about 3 COFOG sector, that's classification of functions of government, collecting data digitally, and they're reporting their data digitally. That's been education, health, and economic affairs. The Bureau is also making concerted efforts to also see transformation and digitalization of its administrative data management in other sector, in other COFOG groups. And the Bureau today, I can boast as a member of the family of MEP to say that we have taken data management and data utilization higher. I think we had virtually the only state that today reports our GDP, on state-based level, on state-based level. And the Bureau produces a quarterly GDP report even today. We have the Economic Planning Department, who is in charge of development of our policies. It has also, by the reason of the widening of its responsibility, giving birth to the Economic Intelligence Department, who does the intelligence gathering and reporting of data and updates government. We have the Budget Department that you all know is in charge of management of the budget process in the states. We have the Development Partnership Department that interface with development partners locally and internationally to ensure stability of the gap that could have existed, that is existing between what is available to us to spend and what actually the state could have capacity to spend, closing up that gap. We also have the monitoring and evaluation departments, which has evolved from the CPCD, that's the project coordinating departments. We have the social protection department today. We are also the only state, as I speak to you, who after the national program of SOCO has decided to have a social protection department coordinate different technical ministries that actually give attention to social protection in the states. And that is a kudos to us. We have an established social protection register from which every intervention that happens in the states, whether at the public or private level, engages for harvest of intervention and people to intervene with. The ministry itself has continued to ride on this strength of structure to be able to deliver the process of planning and the budgeting in the states. As enhancements to what we have as economic planning and budget, enhancing Lagos resilience through institutionalized economic planning and budget framework. We have this framework in place. Sitting on top of that chart is the Lagos State Development Plan itself. Like I said, that the plan has evolved from the very first plan. We have translated to several plans and under different administration. At a point in Fashola's administration, we're looking at parts. In this very administration, likewise, we are looking at Teams Plus agenda. But all of this agenda have their roots into the larger development plan, which has driven the state's economic planning and budget process. We have the team's agenda, evolving from the larger plan, but on the immediate delivery of the annual budget year, as I said, to cost what will happen in the immediate plan range. In each of the years of this administration, in the last 5 years, they have always adopted, across the pillars of the team's agenda from the development plan itself. A 30-year long-term strategic development plan, which was contributed to by every stakeholder in the states. When this plan was being developed, there were wide consultation with different stakeholders, the public and the private sector. And at different level, it was also consolidated before the final launch. The Teams Plus agenda is a short-term to medium-term economic development plan that guides policy direction and highlights government priority. The team's agenda itself started as a 6-pillar agenda, which later see the need to strengthen, this 6-pillar with the focus on youth engagement, with focus on social protection, and this 6-pillar plus agenda as with it several outcomes which it intends to deliver, and those outcomes are also being driven by certain key performance indicator, a total of about 119 indicators that are being captured. It suffices to say here also that there is a framework that was established by this administration to ensure the delivery of the Teams Plus agenda, and that framework is also being coordinated by senior statisticians at the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, who captures the Lagos Digital Cabinet data and reports it as it's being submitted by various agencies of government under the pillar. I may not want to delve in depth into that, but these are processes that enrich the outcome of what you see. The medium-term sector strategy, MTSS, serves as a vital budgetary instrument, aligning state policy with costed priority programs and projects within the constraint of the available resource to us in the states. And that has helped the states to be able to pin down, major initiatives and fund them. Sometimes last year, necessity had it that we have some defined 14 must-do initiatives, key initiatives that immediately was being funded in the state budget to ensure the delivery of the development plan in that phase of the first phase of the mileage of its delivery, and also to align Lagos with the priority of placing it and showcasing it in that greater Lagos agenda drive, of the mileage of where Mr. Governor has cultivated the journey so far as at that point in time. The medium-term budget framework, MTBF, provides a 3-year projection of the state's revenue and expenditure. It helps us to see, succinctly what we can be able to generate within our capacity, given certain consideration of macroeconomic data, looking at inflation, looking at our GDP. It helps us to see our capacity, looking at what services and doing business in Lagos State will accrue to us in our gross domestic product, and vis-a-vis, the ratio of that to our revenue, and we are able to make a functional projection of the revenue and resources that will be available to the states within the medium term of 3 years. And we are able to plan on that as a state and disburse our expenditure alike, to say that and prioritize what is most important to us that needs to come in the space of that available spending. So that's what the MTBF does, and it takes on that as it makes that projection. The budget department takes on that to create a portfolio of annual budget outline, for government revenue and the expenditure for the fiscal year, and ensuring that there is financial accountability and resource allocation. And we just don't leave our implementation at that. We adopt the monitoring framework of the PMR, which measures our performance as a state, on our programs and projects, and marks the beginning of a new budget cycle. Whatever the performance review gives helps us to know how to tread the journey of the following year. We have also introduced the TPAR, the peer review mechanism that helps each and every agency to assess themselves and see how being truthful to themselves by the scoring matrix, see how they are fair and how they need to do better, in the space of the performance review that comes up later. The Lagos State Development Plan, like I said, focuses on 4 major dimensions. And it is also interesting to say that by the time you are seeing the resilience strategy, you will discover that everything is just driving towards having a thriving economy, towards having an human-centric city, and doing that by establishment of modern infrastructures, and ensuring that there is effective governance, holding the steering and holding the instruments of the created infrastructure to bring the people to an human-centric city where the economic is thriving. And so for the thriving economy, it has 8 focus areas, and by those 8 focus areas, if we're focused on Lagos, we have a robust, healthy, and growing economy with adequate jobs for its populace and strategic investment to sustain growth continuously in the states. While the human-centric city has 4 focus areas, and the intention of this, our 4 focus area, is just to ensure that every Lagosian will have access to affordable and world-class education, healthcare, and social service All this drive is still what you see displayed in our trying to create health insurance, which helps the people to be able to access a quality health service. The transport system that we are putting in place speaks to what our six focus area under the modern infrastructure will do for us. You will agree with me that Lagos is at high speed of delivering on intermodal transport system. You know, our water transport system, having a synergy with the rail system, the road system, and even the transport system adopting world-class vehicle transportation system that helps us, the lag ride services and all those projects that are visible within the states are all intended to ensure that Lagos will be able to drive and meet the delivery of a 21st century city and a hub like we sell that will be functional and safe for the people to exist in. Why under effective governance, there are three focus areas. The intention of these three focus areas is to establish a Lagos which will be supportive, the government's efforts that will be supportive to creating an enabling environment that will generate opportunities for every Lagosian, opportunity in every space, as it attracts investments, as it showcases Lagos as a place of doing business with ease, and finding people a layer on such opportunity to thrive. So here we are showing the development transition from the earlier years of Lagos. Lagos has always been a hustling and bustling state. It has always been a place of opportunity, a place where every eye has set on by its natural endowments. Like I always say, everywhere I find opportunity to speak on behalf of my permanent secretary, like this, that Lagos landmass area, even though being 0.4% of the Nigeria landmass itself, is accommodating today about 12% of the nation's population. And that you can see in this picture, right from those ages, you can see that the Lagos road has ever been busy, but because of the concerted efforts of different governments, you can see the several transitions that has happened, even though today we still have that heavy traffic, but in a very well arranged and managed manner, where today we now have the effectiveness of our road managers, the last man, keeping this all over distribution in a very linear and well concerted arrangement. And moving downward, my right, you can see several transitions that has also followed. And where we are going is when we have the fourth mainland bridge, where you can see attached to that bridge is the city that we all look forward to. On one hand, where the bridge is traveling like that, you find the rail even traveling on the bridge. You find the concerted efforts of ease of doing business in the projects that are being done today. Those transition projects of Lagos development, such as the world-class Mercy Children Hospital at the Lagos Island, the Imota rice mill, the deep sea port, the Lekki deep sea port, that boasts to be the first of its kind, in Africa. The food hub, this food storage hub at Ereun, Epe, and the proposed 4th mainland bridge. The food hub the food storage hub is a testament that Lagos has not left its house on redesign. As the architects of excellence, Lagos has continued to evolve after one challenge or the other. And that's what resilience is about. Resilience is about the ability to bounce back, when you face challenge and continue. It amazes the world around us how Lagos was able to manage the COVID, come out of it, manage several crises, the EndSARS and everything coming up together, and yet the state has survived those challenges and be able to place the state, on the forward-going platform. The COVID was one challenge that showcased to us in Lagos that there could be scarcity of food, and the government of Lagos State has immediately taken that challenge over in its planning and in budgeting for it, ensuring that there is creation of backup and food storage hub, which is going beyond just storing food now to create the market and the emerging market for Nigeria food market in Lagos. The Lagos State Resilience Strategy, as I have said earlier, is vital for addressing the multifaceted challenge faced by Lagos, and the Nigeria economic hub. Despite its resilience in coping with daily adversity, Lagos grapples with pressing issues such as energy shortage, migration, which is key. We can't stop people coming into Lagos. Every Nigeria finds Lagos as a place of opportunity. They see it as a place they need to go to, for prosperity. Everyone from every nook and cranny of our nation and even beyond, outside nation, see Lagos as a viable place by reason of how God has established Lagos, and even our blue economy has continued to be attraction to the people. Everyone has this belief that when you get to Lagos, you will find something doing. And so it becomes a place for attraction and a place where there will always be prayer for job. There will always be, prayer and contention for more people to travel on our roads and utilize our infrastructures. It will always be a place where there will be more people to use our hospitals, to school in our schools. So Lagos cannot rest on its oars, but we always continue to integrate systemic and institutional resilience measures that helps it to create a safer and inclusive, sustainable city, so that it can enhance the capacity to survive, this capacity to adapt, and the capacity to thrive. And these are the key pillars of the resilience strategy, ensuring that there will continue to be collaboration, among stakeholders to address different effects of vulnerability that may arise from this prayer of people migrating into Lagos. Initiatives are being outlined in the strategy, by LASTRO to ensure that they drive Lagos in leadership and strategy, in infrastructure and environment management, in health and well-being guidance of the people to ensure economic and society stability, and ensuring a resilient future for the residents and the businesses that operate in the states. So aligning the economic planning framework, the budget structure, where we intertwine, like the twine you are seeing here with the Lagos Resilience Strategy. The Lagos State Resilience Strategy is anchored on 3 pillars. And those 3 pillars are efficient in creating efficient city, enterprise city, inclusive city. What do I mean by this? Seamlessly, they are looking at the overarching vision of Lagos State Development Plan. The plan aims to transform Lagos into Africa's premier mega city and global economic hub by 2052, characterized by safety, functionality, and productivity. So to achieve this, they know that it must be an efficient city where internet is working, aiding and supporting business, where technology could drive is at the top gear of bringing speed and smartness to the delivery of business and enterprises in the city. Then inclusivity, where it's not only government doing everything, but the citizen itself are taking their place. They are taking the lead role of ensuring the safety of this city, in ensuring the functionality of the city, in ensuring the productivity of the city. We are looking at a city where ownership is being taken by everyone, like our caption of Ìgbéga Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Àjùmọ̀ṣe ni. It's a joint effort that the resilience strategy is anchoring upon to ensure the delivery of this long-term vision of the Lagos State Development Plan. These integrations ensure that resilient building efforts are prioritized and costed in the state's annual budget and in the medium-term provision of the MTSS, emphasizing the synergy between economic planning, budgeting, and the pursuit of a resilient and prosperous Lagos is a mandate that the Greater Lagos agenda itself has focused on, and ensuring the delivery of it by prioritizing certain initiatives, as calling them the must-do initiative, which is being measured, and ensure that we can also align, with the global best practices, the sustainable development goal. And the Resilience Office is doing a lot in delivering that, starting from the Catch Them Young initiative of speaking to our children in the school, building the resilience characteristics in the school children. Just at the close of last year, the Resilience Office took the campaign for resilience to schools across Lagos division, ensuring that they can build that habit in our young people and they can grow with it. In conclusion, achieving a resilient Lagos is a significant step in the process of consolidating tremendous, over the years, and over the years to make Lagos African model mega and a leading location for enterprise and innovation. As it would be nice to inform you here that as far back as about 2 years ago, Lagos was, in terms of tech startups, we were already contributing over 3% to our GDP in terms of tech startup. And that is placing us on the measurement pedestal of leading our African peer. Why our African peer, the leading African peer that are in that portfolio of reports of the economic intelligence, the World Economic Intelligence with us, were doing, as at that point in time, they were contributing 1% in terms of tech startup, while Lagos was already doing 3%. But the global peer whom we aim at measuring ourselves with are already doing 9%. And so consistently, Lagos has aggravated the efforts towards moving close to this global peer. And it is good news to say that by the close of last year, 2023, we are already recording about 3.8% contribution in that wise. And you can see several efforts being put together by Lagos State government in terms of technology drive, the fiber cable that are being laid, all in the intended to create a state where this will help facilitate our business in a smarter delivery manner. The budget quarterly appraiser, the TPR, like I said, the PMR are all effective monitoring tools that helps us to achieve efficient public service delivery. When you mark yourself, we also report. The budget appraiser is a room for us to present to the state at large, and we do this inviting the press. There are several questions that arises and we answer, but I'm sure we are one of the leading states in terms of reporting back to the people on quarterly basis all our initiative projects that are being funded in our budget and how they are fair and how the outcomes have yielded, and they give that gives the citizen the privilege of insight into governance and participation in governance as well. The agencies themselves have the TPR as an instrument of assessing themselves, and the PMR stands at the end of the delivery of spending to ensure that performance is monitored and reviewed to form the next basis for the forward funding. The initiative of the LSDP spread over 30 years, aligned with the resilience strategy that indicates a new approach to city building. By tracking their results, the city will learn not only what works well, but also we have the privilege to improve, for specific initiative, but also how different initiatives may combine to produce greater benefits and resilience outcome. It suffices, ladies and gentlemen, to say that since inception of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, the ministry has diligently prepared the state budgets, ensuring alignment of the same with modern global trends in budget implementation and monitoring. We have ensured that we are in the space of what is not questionable. It has been instrumental in steering the state's economy towards achieving its overall policy trust and different agenda that those policy trusts has anchored upon, in which the Greater Lagos agenda is also inclusive, and realizing a resilient Lagos. Lagos is gradually becoming that picture of resilience that we look forward to. Despite the economic bite of the global recession that has bite the whole world, like Mr. Odofin, the anchor, said at the beginning of this webinar this morning, Lagos has fairly kept its people. The veg and fruit hub in Idioro, videos shows how still citizens were grateful to this government, in providing that place, subsidizing what is being sold, all in the bid to tame the economic hardship and allow the people to be able to adapt, which is what resilience is about. Adapt and be able to cope and be able to move forward. Someone will know it is hardly believable that even since the bite, Lagosians themselves has created understanding within themselves of why they must stay put with the government to ensure they drive together. This is because all the approaches of our economic planning, the deployment of planning, and the policies that guide the delivery of governance in the states has actually considered the people and include them, right from the onset. This is the little we could say for now, because given the constraint of time, I don't know if my permanent secretary is already on the call before we hand over to PSSDC for Q&A. That's the question and answer time. The permanent secretary, Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, sir, are you on this call, Mr. Ibrahim Obajomo?
Yes, I've joined.
Sir, I don't know if you would like to put some enrichments. I know I inherited the history, but I may not have told it perfectly like those who taught us the history. I leave the floor for you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank PSSDC and everyone that is listening to.
Yeah, welcome, sir.
Yeah, just like I said before, I had an assignment which I had to go for, and also in order to be able to begin to yield the ground gradually for those who are coming behind us. So most of those things have to be left for them to carry. Just like some of you may have known that this permanent secretary will be yielding the office to someone else from May 31st. So it is necessary for us to begin to allow others who are taking over behind us to understand those things and know the history of where they want to run. And I've been doing this in the last 2 years to make sure that no stone is left unturned. so that when I'm resting, they will not come and begin to bother me with history. I'll just go back, Mr. Joe, just go back to that slide on the historical background. I think you have done very well. You've stated the whole thing the way it is and the way we've been operating. So I just want to throw some light on that historical background so that people who are hearing us will know how the Ministry of Economic Planning evolved, because most people does not even know whether it just came from the moon or how the process happened. So you can go back to that slide. I think that should be slide 4 or 5 or so. Yes, thank you. Actually, Lagos State was created this year, and by 1970 to 75, there was the first development plan. Please go back to that slide again. Yeah, go back to that slide again. Yes. So there was the first development plan. Then that was of about 54.25 million naira. And I think in the course of my research, when I was an officer in the ministry, I equally larged on the first budget that was prepared in the state then. And I discovered that even when they first prepared the first budget, it was done by only 3 people. And even after that one, that budget only had overhead and personnel costs. There was no capital as at that time. So that is to tell you where we started from and how we are now. And that budget then was very, very small, maybe even lower than this 54.2 million naira. So as time goes on, in 1999, the Plans, Programs and Budget Bureau transformed into Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. But before then, in 1976, it was a department under the Ministry of Finance, and that was as a result of the Jeremy Udoji Commission's report on Nigerian public service reforms in 1974. So Lagos State began to implement that report in 1976. And that report recommended that Nigeria should do away with the incremental budgeting systems that they were used to, and move to something like the program budgeting in financial management. I think we should meet every other person, please. So, and
admin, please move to every other person.
So, recognizing the importance of economic planning to good governance and people-oriented projects and programs, on March 28, 1980, Alhaji Lateef Jakande, the head of the Second Republic administration, moved that plans, programs and budget department that was under the Ministry of Finance. He moved it to the governor's office because he wants to be in charge of the planning directly. And then after that one, he raised the bar for the department again. He made the department a full-fledged ministry for the first time. And as at that time, it was called Ministry of Economic Planning and Land Matters. And that was the first time the Ministry of Economic Planning became a full-fledged ministry. But later, during the Third Republic of Sir Michael Agbolade Otedola, the governor there, he rechristened the ministry again and called it Plans, Project and Budget Bureau. Plans, Project and Budget Bureau. Actually, that was what I met when I joined the service. I met the Plans, Project and Budget Bureau, and that was what we continued until 1st of July, 1999. On the 1st of July, 1999, when Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu decided to make it a full-fledged ministry to be able to focus fully on economic planning in the state. And this was also with the aim of bringing up inclusive governance so that people can have contribution into governance in the state and budgeting in the state. So the primary agency, the primary aim of government at that time was to facilitate efficient and effective mobilization, planning, allocation, and utilization of resources for socio-economic transformation of Lagos State. And there was a mission that was set up then, and that mission was to ensure continuous and dynamic socio-economic policies through prudent and equitable resource management in Lagos State. This has been what the ministry has been driving ever since then. And as at that time, this gave birth to the 10-point agenda, the popular 10-point agenda that we all know. That was one of the first achievements of the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. And there are so many other economic development policies and documents that came out after that one. We have the NEETs from the federal, and which the Lagos State also decided to have the LACITs, LACIT part of it. The NEET is the National Economic and Empowerment Development Strategy, which was introduced by the federal then, and the same thing was introduced to the states. So the state also have to find its own way into the needs by calling its own Lagos State Economic and Empowerment Development Strategy. So then all this kept on coming, these development programs kept on, my policies kept on rearing its head until when we eventually get to 2012 to 2025 Lagos State Development Plan. And that development plan, as at that time, was be terminated by 2025 or reviewed after maybe 4 years. But recently it was just reviewed, I think just about last year. It was reviewed last year or year before, so if I can recall it very well. And the new development plan that is supposed to end by 2052 was given back to during the last Eyigbeti at a hotel. But the beauty of this development plan, LSDP development plan, the one we are running since 2012, has incorporated all the economic policies that Lagos State had from the beginning, from inception, into it. And at the same time, the outputs and the outcomes have also been incorporated into it. The KPIs have equally been incorporated into it. So those are just the major thing. So these same economic policies was what gave back to what we call the MTBF, MTBF, and the MTSS. And one of the things I want to throw out at this meeting is simple. People see the MTSS as something that is very difficult, and I say it's the simplest of all those frameworks, of all these medium-term frameworks. Why? I always bring people's mind back. I say when you started secondary school and you go into class 3 or 4 and you started economics. So when you started economics in secondary school, can we meet everybody, please? When we started economics in the public service school, in our secondary school, one of the things that we were first taught in the first 2 chapters is what we call opportunity cost and scale of preference. And I tell people, look, most of the things we are doing now are things that have evolved before. But now we are bringing them back because we saw that they are working for us. And because the World Bank and other developed nations saw that these simple theories of economics, they work for us. And so I tell people, I say your MTSS is simply what you learned in economics when you are learning opportunity cost and you are learning scale of preference. What is opportunity cost? You have all of them together. You list all of them. You put the cost against them. And when you put the cost against them, you look at your pocket. What do I have? This is what I have. You cannot afford it. I cannot afford all this that I've listed. Okay, let me do a scale of preference. Then you now arrange everything in order of priorities. And say, okay, I have 3 naira. 3 naira can only take item first item, second item, and third item. Okay, let me just face that one and roll over the rest. You want to get money. And that is simply what the MTSS is all about. It's just as simple as that. Just prioritizing, just make sure that you rank them, and whatever your money can take, you go for it. And the next time, when you have more money, you go for the next level. that's just the way it was. And most of the, let me just then this also, we run this in the medium term. That is the medium term, MTEF, MTEF, MTBB, and the MTSS. Those are the medium terms, which is 3 years. And again, let me explain why we chose 3 years. Because in definitions, medium term is supposed to be between 3 years and 5 years in budgeting. But Lagos State chose to pick 3 years, and it has a reason for picking 3 years. And they have, let me just explain that reason. The reason is simply because we know that each administration in Lagos State is covered by 4 years. And when an administration comes in the first year, one of the things we expect you to do is that you come up with your programs. We expect that you run those programs for at least 3 years. And after the 3rd year, the one you cannot finish, you have 1 year to round it off, so that you will not be living maybe on finished projects, abandoned projects for the coming administration, except if that project is a milestone project that will take multi-years and will go beyond maybe 3 years. But most of the projects that we do are majorly for 2-3 years, and you can finish them within that 3 years. If you don't finish them, the 4th year, you round it off and you close it that way, except for milestones and legacy projects, just like the rail that we are talking about, just like, I think the rail is key to that. Even the BRT lanes that we are drawing, the bus lane, they are going to be continuous processes that may not end. The more we expand, the more we continue to increase that. So that is the main reason why Lagos State chose 3 years as at that time. So I think I will leave the stage. I will allow people to ask questions so that we can answer, and we can, and at the same time we can go back to our Owambe party today for those who have parties, like my PSPSO. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, our very dear Permanent Secretary, Mr. Ibrahim Obajomo. You and of course also Mrs. Ojo, who has represented you very, very well. We are really grateful for your for taking time to give value to this initiative. This is first of many to come. There's so much to talk about in Lagos, and I'm sure that people out there are looking forward to all the other interesting sectors of the economy in Lagos State. I mean, the transport sector, what is happening in the housing sector, you know, the health sector. There's so much to talk about in Lagos State. So I would encourage anybody with any questions to go ahead and ask. And we don't want to take people's time, but if there are questions even after this session has ended, we would collate the questions and we'll forward it to the Permanent Secretary, MEPB, and we would be able to share those questions and answers on our social media platforms and on our website. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. So it's
thank you very much, Gigi. Thank you very much, Gigi. Mr. Odofin.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Thank you.
Please.
Okay. Thank you very much, our amiable Director General. Actually, the Director General is the initiator of this particular program, just as our own way of supporting the administration of Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu's Teams Plus agenda. We want to especially appreciate the PS, Mr. Ibrahim Obajomo. Thank you for putting the ice on the cake. Mrs. Ojo, thank you very much. I must say that you have been able to demystify in an hour what your experiences in the last, only God knows how many years. But we appreciate, and there are a lot of appreciation coming from our participants. Some are saying very, very impactful. Some are saying full package. Some are also asking when are we going to get the slide and all of that. And I know all of that will be answered with time. Just like the Director General said, if you have questions, so much has been said about Lagos State, and there is so much that we also need to say. But in this, within this presentation context, if you have a question, if you have contribution, kindly make it known so that, yes. So please, if you have questions, you can just raise your hands electronically and they will call on you to actually ask your question. The PS is on ground, Mrs. Olayinka is on ground to actually provide a solution to those pressing issues. So you have the floor, our great and wonderful participants. Questions, contribution, addition.
Good morning, sir.
Okay, you are welcome.
I'm Ms. Ogunwede Abimbola Eunice from Education District 1, a sign language interpreter, sir. I thank the DJ for the initiation, for bringing up this lecture, this training. I've learned a lot. It lets us to know where we are coming from, where we are, and where we are heading to in the future. As a teacher, we'll be able to know what to impart to our students, for them to know what is going on in Lagos State, as Lagos State is following the pattern of what is going on in the world. But sir, I want to appeal for something. We have deaf teachers in Lagos State. They too will join this program, but there is no interpreter to interpret what is being said at the program. Though I'm an interpreter, but there should be an interpreter that will let them, they are always inquisitive. They want to know what is going on around them. And they always value it when something like this is being happening. So when they know about all this, they too will be able to use it as an individual and also pass the lecture to their students as well. That is my contribution and observation, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. I think that is well noted. We are assuring you that maybe in the next edition, we will see to that and everybody will benefit. Thank you very much for bringing that up. And I also see it also as a way of also advertising yourself. Oh, that's a very smart one. And that's a smart one. And that is really good.
I'm a deaf advocate. I'm a special need advocate. Anywhere I am, I advocate for them.
Oh, okay. That's good. That's good. Thank you very much. And I think that is exactly what we are actually advocating for in Lagos State, that every public officer should be smart, because this is Lagos State is a smart city, and still talking about resilience, like Mr. Ojo said, ability to adapt, ability to cope, ability to quickly recover when challenges arises. And I think successive administration in Lagos State, and including this present administration, have been very, very up and doing in this area. We must especially appreciate Mr. Governor, especially right from the time of COVID-19. Last year, we had the cash swap policy issue. And even this year, we also have a lot of some hardship, and the governor is rising to that occasion to ensure that those issues are tackled and that the residents of Lagos State actually are not feeling too much by this. So if you still have questions, thank you very much. If you still have questions, contribution, please, we are here to take it. Questions, contribution. Yes, questions, contribution.
Okay, before the next one, let us use this opportunity to give space for our very dear permanent secretary, Public Service Office, Mrs. Sukomi, to give a special remark. You know, PSSDC is very blessed. We are supported very, very strongly by Mr. Governor, as well as the head of service, the Public Service Office, Ministry of Establishment and Training. And on a Saturday like this, we have one of our own, the Permanent Secretary of Public Service Office, on the line to lend her voice and to give us goodwill message. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DG, sir. Mr. Lasso, come over to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, DG PSSDC. And thank you all. Good morning. So still morning, a very good morning to you. And I say Ramadan Kareem to our Muslim faithfuls and the Christians as well. I say happy fasting. Yes, I would like to first thank PSSDC for this great initiative. It's an initiative that will help our officers to build capacity, to also know more about, other agencies, what we're doing, and all of that, so that we are all on the same page. So kudos to PSSDC. Thank you very much for this. Then let me thank Mr. Obajomo and Mrs. Ojo for that expose. It's really very enlightening, as had been noted. And I must say that MEPB is like the Airtel of today. They seem to have changed their name several times over the years, so historically. So, but I know that they are more efficient than Airtel. Let me also say that Lagos State, as we all know, is a state that is very audacious. We are a state that will always push the limit. And I'm glad that MEPB is also in the forefront of this, because I'm from the... I'm sorry about that, a call came in. So during the presentation, I hear inclusiveness, I hear enterprise, I hear efficiency. These are the kind of things that Lagos State actually, thrives on. We are a state that we are not only audacious, but we want to bring everybody on board. Hence the mantra. So every hand is and should continue to be on deck. I also hear that LASRO has been taking this campaign of resilience to schools. So that also means that our children are not left behind. They are the future of tomorrow. So we must also include them in this campaign for a greater Lagos to arise. So on that note, I want to say thank you very much to Mr. in retirement. And I must also commend your leadership style, because you're not afraid to showcase your officers. You're not afraid to showcase your directors. I hope that everybody on this call is learning that. Never be too shy, never be too afraid to let others fly. So that when you leave the stage you continue to be developed. And then you can also say that, oh, I left a legacy. Thank you very much, Mr. Obajomo. Mrs. Ojo, that was a nice delivery. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. On behalf of the head of service, I say thank you to everybody on the call. But I must, however, say before I leave, and I want to implore us, because this is the very first of the series, others will be coming up. Can we, as a people, learn some online meeting etiquette? We've had to say several times that people should mute themselves. If you're coming into a meeting such as this, unless you are called to speak, you come in muted. And then your video, your camera should not be on, particularly when where you are is not so, conducive for or relevant to the meeting that you're having. You see people walking around. You can put off your camera and you can hear what everybody has been saying or what is being said. So please, I'm leaving the stage now, today, this morning, to go and attend to my party, like Obajomo noted. Mr. VUC, yes, I have party. And Mrs. or Mr. Fijabi, yes, I went in law, but so some of us still have social functions to attend. So thank you very much, Mr. Adio Moses. God bless you for what you're doing. And we believe that this will really take Lagos to a greater height. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you, Kapo.
Thank you very much. Over to you, Mr. Odofe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Olasokomi, as the Permanent Secretary, Public Service Office. Thank you very much for that wonderful words of encouragement and support. And like we have all listened to her, like we all listen to her, please, let's imbibe the culture of online, some etiquette that is required when we are on an online or Zoom meeting like this. Please, it's very, very important. Let's learn to be disciplined. I've also learned this morning that there's going to be a poll question poll question, maybe multiple choice, maybe fill in the gap just to test how much you have learned. So don't be afraid when we pop up a poll question just to test your understanding and your commitment. We are not going to use it whether for promotion or for demotion. No, that is not going to happen. But just want to know how much you have internalized on this program. So the administrator will actually bring up the poll question. But before that, if we still have questions, maybe we have permanent secretaries in the house or some directors in the house who want to ask questions. I want to make some meaningful contribution, please. You have the floor.
Mr. Odofin, the poll is on now. Mr. Odofin,
yes,
the poll is on now.
So please, the poll is on. The poll is on.
You also need to emphasize the fact that it is not an examination, just to evaluate the program. The purpose is to evaluate the program.
I've said that, Mr. Shola.
Yes,
thank you very much.
I want you to emphasize it. I want you to emphasize it.
Okay, our audience, our great audience, please. Like we said, it's not for promotion. It's not for anything, but it's just to see how much you have internalized, how much you have learned, and to use it as a way of evaluating, assessing how the program has actually fared. So you can see number one question there. So which of this is not a focus area of the Lagos State Development Plan? So you can just click on the right option. You can click on the right option and you can scroll up. You can scroll up to number 2. You can scroll up to number 2. Number 2 says...
We can't see anything, please.
You can't see anything?
Please.
Okay, please you have to go to your more button. Admin, please, quickly help out. Go to your more button. In that more button, I think you will see poll option. Poll option, click on the poll option and the questions will pop up. The question will pop up, so please. I have it already on my phone here. Question number 2.
Of your screen. Just click those 3 dots.
Button. Yeah, thank you.
You're going to find the poll button. Click it. There are 10 questions in all. So
okay, thank you very much, admin. Question number 2. The Lagos State Rice Mill is located at... The Lagos State Rice Mill is located at... Just want to ensure that we're on the same page. That's why I'm reading out the questions. Okay. Question number 3. For those of you who
we are not seeing the question.
Okay, go to those 3 dots on your phone or on your laptop. There are 3 dots. Click on those dots and you will see some options there. Click on the poll option or the poll. When you click on that, the questions will pop up. Okay, question number 3. What agency of the Lagos State government is established to drive resilience? What agency of the Lagos State government is established to drive resilience? We have the options there. So click on the correct option. Question number 4. The Lagos State Resilience Strategy is anchored on these pillars except. Is anchored on these pillars except. We have the options. Just click. Question number 5.
Settings and disconnect audio. That's what is showing on the 3 dots.
Admin, can you quick attend to that individual, that officer? Question number 5. A peculiar challenge to Lagos State is. A peculiar challenge to Lagos State is. Question number 6. The presenter of today's lecture is. The presenter of today's lecture is. The presenter of today's lecture is, remember somebody represented the PS, but let me stop there. The presenter of today's lecture is question number 7.
Many people are claiming that they cannot see the admin, please. Many people are still saying.
Okay, I'm good.
Question number 7. The first Lagos State Development Plan.
I'm going to give the instruction one more time. If you can zoom screen, you're probably going to see an option. You're going to see an option for more or 3 dots. Click those 3 dots and it will bring you some more options that are being hidden from you. That is where you will find the poll or the quizzes section. Click the poll or the quizzes and then you will find the question. And let me also say that we need you to register for this lecture. You will find the link in the chat box. I've been posting it. So please just register, because out of about 340 something people, only 100 have registered. So we need you to register. Don't put your information in the chat box. Click the link to register. Thank you.
Thank you very much, admin. Number 7. The first Lagos State Development Plan covered which range of years? The first Lagos State Development Plan covered which range of years? Question number 8, for those of you who have it. Which governor created the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget? Which governor created the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget?
Okay, Dola.
Question number 9. Hello, please mute yourself. If you are not an admin, please mute yourself.
Please mute yourself. Mute yourself.
Please.
Please mute yourself.
Question number 9. Which of these is not a budgeting tool used by the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget? Which of these is not a budgeting tool used by the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget? And question number 10, for those of you who have the questions. The budget circle of the Lagos State government is, okay? Once you have answered the question up to number 10, you can press the submit button. That is for those of you who have the question. Oh, sorry. Once you have answered the question from 1 to 10, you can press the submit button. It will automatically submit for you. Those of you still struggling with the question, just like the admin has said, go to those 3 dots underneath your phone. If you are using the laptop, please mute yourself, please. Go to those 3 dots, click on it. You will see poll option or quiz. Click on that. The question will pop up. So, and please also don't forget to register on this program. It will actually help us a lot. Endeavor to register for this program. Many other wonderful series will be coming up with time.
So, Mr. Odofin, the moderator, let me seize this opportunity to thank our permanent secretary, Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, our own Mr. Ibrahim Obajomo, on behalf of the DGP SSDC, for taking up this task of starting this Greater Lagos series webinar series. I want to thank also Mrs. Olayinka Ojo for taking up this responsibility despite the task schedule of the permanent secretary. We want to say we are really blessed and we are happy that we have this from the economic planning family. I want to thank our permanent secretaries that are on this platform, especially the PSPSO, Mrs. Olasukanmi Mokpile-Ola, Mrs. Olasukanmi Mokpile-Ola Oyebola, for being here and attending and ensuring that, yes, we are doing things that are in conformity with the Teams Plus agenda of the present administration under our amiable governor, Mr. Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu. I want to thank most especially all participants, especially people from the public service, the admin officers, all our admin and HR officers, all the directors of admin and HR officers, our officers in L&D forum, the learning and development officers, they have always been there for us and they have been helping us to ensure that PSSDC learning and development programs are disseminated and they participate as it were. Let me indeed thank members of the education sectors. If you look at the participants, they have been here en masse, and I'm sure most of them have really seen what Lagos State government is doing. We want a situation where everybody will be on the same page because we are under a unified public service structure. So everybody will know what is going on. Everybody will know what the present administration is doing. And so we are very happy to have all of you. As we have been told by Mr. Odofin, we will be having this series as approved by our directors general and indeed our Ministry of Establishment and Training, and that every third Saturdays, by the grace of God, we will be very happy.
Are you still on, Mr. Sholaja? Hello, Mr. Sholaja.
Benefit immensely from what PSSDC has offered. If we have pounded yam, if we have prepared good soup, and there are no
Hello, Mr. Duffy. Hello, Mr. Duffy.
Are you done, Mr. Sholaja?
Hello, Mr. Duffy.
Hello?
Yeah, I saw some people raising up their hands.
Okay, sir.
Aziz Akim, Abiodun, Akindele, Ona, Layo, Omolayo. I saw them raising up their hands since.
Okay, so please, if you have your hands raised, please unmute yourself and ask your question or make your contribution.
Thank you. Hello.
Yes, you're welcome.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Mr. Aziz. This is Mr. Aziz.
Okay, Mr. Aziz, let's hear your question.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Odofin, for this good initiative. And I want to say from Lansborough, kindly permit me to appreciate my permanent secretary, Mr. Ibrahim Obajomo, and then the lovely presenter, Mrs. Ojo, for good educative presentation today. All protocol are duly observed. But I want to say that this initiative is very good, but we need more publicity because not everybody are aware of this Zoom meeting this morning. But I caught across of it very late, around 1:00 a.m. this morning. Then I have to kindly join the line as well. Sir, you said you are leaving by May ending. This initiative is good, but we need you to assist us for those who are coming behind. Can we put this thing in a document or use it as a documentation so that it can assist we people that is coming behind to have this lovely history so that it can be a good Quran or Bible for us so that we can teach those who are coming behind us too as well. Thank you very much because, you know, economic planning is the umbrella of the state. Without economic planning, I don't think the state will move towards effective and efficient service delivery that we are expecting. Because if you can see the DG of PSDSD is also a product of MEPB. And I want you to let us continue with this good initiative. May God bless every one of you, sir. And ma, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Aziz. I think the PS is on ground. Let him answer some of the questions that actually concern his part. So, dear PS, Mr. Ibrahim, you are welcome on board, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Abiodun Aziz. Yeah, I've noted your request. I can categorically say that some of the people who are working closely with me also at the headquarters have been requesting that we have a time to do this, and even some of the consultants that I've worked with Lagos State have equally requested that I should give them time so that they can help to document most of this history. And I promise you
Audio,
that
please.
I said, and I promise you that I am not too far from you. We'll see what we can do to document it very well. But anytime anytime that I am around, if anybody needs any of this information, you can quickly just put a call across to me. But notwithstanding, we've been working on. I think I'm working with one or two people to see how we can document it. So have it documented.
So let me just add to that comment. You know, PSSD is working on a new learning management software that would try to learn from the mistakes of the previous one that we had under our parent ministry. And when that is concluded, some of this information, we will be bringing in these same people, like our dear peers, Mr. Bajabo, to be able to do the voiceover that would be documented and recorded, that can be played over digitally over the LMS platform. So part of the purpose of creating that LMS platform is to be able to have a repository of information direct from our eggheads, our knowledgeable working institutions, so that we can it will be in their voice and it will be according to their original presentation. And we hope that we can get that done sooner than later. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, DG. Thank you for that elaboration. The area, Mr. Aziz, the area that actually concerns PS, will take note of that. That's we are talking about more publicity so that we have a wider audience on the program. We have taken note of that and we'll work on that. Some hands are also raised up. We have Kehinde Gbajumo.
Thank you.
We have, yes, Kehinde Gbajumo, are you on?
Akinlade has been raising up.
Yes, I'm on. Mr. Odofin, I'm on.
Okay, Gbajumo, please, let's take Akinlade first, please. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding.
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. Odofin. I want to use this opportunity to actually appreciate. Am I on? Should I continue?
Go on.
Thank you very much. Actually, some of my concerns have been answered by Mr. Adio Moses. Talking about, I was about telling saying that apart from what we are doing with the Ministry of Economic and Budget Planning, we should look at how we document everything around the whole civil service, around the whole ministries, because there are so many salient things that are, that occurred in all the ministries that everybody must be aware of. And so I'm so happy about this initiative. It's very fantastic and it's awesome. But also I want to call your attention to an omission on the registration form. We'll find out that the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education is actually missing. So some people like me, I don't have a place to fix myself. So I have to just pick on maybe Education District 1 because we have so many arms of the education family. But the ministry itself is missing on the form. So we don't have a place to fix us. I'm Mr. Akinlade. I'm the director of Lagos State Education Resource Center, an arm of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education. But the whole initiative is very, very fantastic. So thank you for that information. They were all information that were handed to us that we actually need, even as leaders in our various departments and units, to help us in prioritizing our budget and making it more robust and fantastic. So thank you very much for the information. But I also want you to look into that omission of the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education registration platform. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Akinlade. Thank you very much.
Yes,
apologies to our dear PS, Mr. Kehinde Gbajumo. Sorry for cutting you off like that. Please, kindly take the floor, sir. You're welcome, my PS.
Thank you, my DG.
Hold on, please, Gbajumo. I think we'll have Gbajumo, then we'll have Mrs. Bafe. Those are the remaining two. So, Mr. Gbajumo, you can continue, please.
Thank you, my PS. First of all, I would like to appreciate the PSSDC for this laudable initiative. We've been treated to a very educative expose by a wonderful Mrs. Olayinka Ojo. My VOC PS, Mr. Obajomo, thank you so much for your leadership. You are highly appreciated. My brothers and sisters, we've all been enlightened on the state budget process, how the ministry evolved, what they do, the importance of budgeting to the development, both socio-economic development of this, our dear state. What I just want to point out is why the ministry is doing best to ensure that all the parameters of the budgeting are fully implemented. I think it behoves on us to distill what we've learned today back to our various MDAs, departments, and units. Every department, every unit has its own budget. And when we do have it, we should put in all our resources to ensure that we achieve the target that is given to us in our budget. And you should also note that these budgets are not done by somebody from outside and imposed on us. It is usually built right from units, departments, MDAs, and up to the state level. So when it is cut and is given, it gets back to us, approved by the State House of Assembly and assented to by Mr. Governor, we should endeavor that we implement it fully. If each units, department, or MD do not, then the state won't be able to achieve the target that is set for it. That's just what I want to advise us on. MEPB cannot succeed on it alone. All of us have to assist them in achieving that objective. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Gbajúmọ̀, for that.
Thank you, PS, sir.
Thank you, Mr. PS. Thank you very much, sir. We have, if time permits, I think we have Gbafe, Mrs. Gbafe, and Mr. and Abdusalam Zainab. So who is coming first? Please unmute yourself.
Please invite Mrs. Gbafe.
Mrs. Gbafe, please. Mrs.
That's
Gbafe, please
the
unmute.
Executive Secretary.
Yeah. Okay.
Christian
You're welcome.
Pilgrimage Welfare
Thank
Board.
you. Good afternoon,
Yep.
my brothers and my sisters. And I will say, praise the Lord to everybody because of where I'm coming from.
Thank you.
I'm very happy to be with you this morning. Although I joined late, I really appreciate everything that have been, all the effort that have been put in ensuring that today happens. I want to commend my dear brother, Mr. Obajomo, for ensuring that, ensuring that today this program kicks off with this episode. I just want to advise also, in line with what Mr. Aziz said some time ago, that for us to get this program sustainable, there are some little parameters that I would like us to put in place. In terms of the crops of people that will be in this program, in this, what is it called? It's a program, it's a teaching, it's training. What can I call it? I think we should educate each and every one of them how to do this and how to do that. I think it was really easy to get the questions, to pop up. It was just going into, the advice was for us to go to more and click on it and we will get the questions. But a lot of people were just going forth and back. Maybe we should orientate people on how to, join Zoom, not enabling their voices to be heard. They can mute and they can also off their camera and all that. Then somebody was asking in the chat box that the test we took, when are we going to get the results? Please, can you give us that answer? Because it's a good thing. I love the way it was done. It's for you to ensure that people were really participating in the program. So it will be good for us to also see the result. And also, Mr. Odofin, please, I want to correct you. The PSO's name is not Mrs. Sukomi. Her name is Mrs. Sukomi Oyegbola or Mrs. Oyegbola. These are just the little things I want to contribute. And I just want to associate myself with this wonderful, laudable program of this wonderful MEPB that I was part of before. Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Ma. That is well noted. Thank you very much for the correction. And to the admin, I think in the chat box, we have people asking when will they get the answers to their questions. So admin, please help us out. They want to know their score. They want to know their score. So admin, how are we going to go about this?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. As you have said earlier, this is just a test of how well people have been paying attention. It's not something that they are going to be graded on. So I think we're just going to read out the answers so that everybody can know where they got it wrong.
Okay, so can we quickly do that, admin?
Okay, thank you very much. I'm going to end the poll now, and then we're going to start.
Okay, okay.
Greetings to everyone. Directors, the PS Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget, who is our guest speaker for today. We thank you so much for your presence and your wonderful presentation. Of course, your representative, Mrs. Olayinka Ojo. I picked some of these questions from the presentation, and I'm hoping that if I get it wrong, then your wonderful sirs and master are here to correct me. So the first question is, which of this is not a focus area of the Lagos State Development Plan? The correct answer to that is political continuity. The focus areas are effective governance, human-centric city, thriving economy, and then one other, which I can't remember right now. But political continuity is not one of the focus areas. The second question, the Lagos State Rice Mill is located at Imota in Ikorodu. For the third question, what agency of the Lagos State government is established to drive resilience? That is the Lagos State Resilience Office, LASRO. And that's the first option there. The fourth question, the Lagos State Resilience Strategy is anchored on these pillars, except, of course, it's the correct answer is exclusive city. Exclusive city is not on the list of the pillars. The three pillars are efficient city, inclusive city, and enterprise city. The fifth question, a peculiar challenge to Lagos State is migration population. Mrs. Olayinka Ojo mentioned that in her presentation. The other challenges are not exactly peculiar. We do not have crime as a problem, and our budgets have not been labeled as inefficient. So the major one that is our problem that is peculiar to Lagos is the migration population issue. The presenter of today's lecture, well, the guest speaker that was billed to speak is the PS, Mr. Ibrahim Obajomo, but he spoke, and he was also earlier represented by Mrs. Olayinka Ojo. So both answers would be correct in my opinion. Number 7, the first Lagos State Development Plan covered which range of years? According to the presentation, it should be 1970 to 1975, which is the third option there. 1970 to 1975. Number 8, which governor created the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget? The PS mentioned that in his presentation. It's Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Number 9, which of these is not a budgeting tool used by the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget? The correct answer is the first one, which is MTTS. MTTS is a figment of our imagination. The three that were in the presentation are MTSS, MTBF, and MTEF. And then the 10th one, the budget cycle of Lagos State government is 3 years. I believe I got that from the presentation right too. So these are the answers. I believe we all can grade ourselves accordingly. Thank you very much, sirs.
Thank you, admin. Yes, thank you, admin. Thank you very much. Yes.
Mr.
So,
Odofin.
Mr. Olayinka, yes.
Mr. Odofin, we really need to emphasize that it is not to test whether they are doing well or not, but in adult learning, the essence of the poll is to ensure that learning has taken place and that we all that participated on this program, we have really participated and we understood very well what the presenter has given us. Please, I don't want us to see it from we are doing tests, we are running an exam. No, please, once again, it is just to ensure that learning has taken place. And I'm happy that most of us are on that path. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I think they have all heard what you have said. I think maybe if Mrs. Olayinka Ojo is still there, Mr. Olayinka, please can you confirm some of the answers given? Is there anyone that is not in tandem with what you have taught today? Mr. Olayinka, please.
All the answers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Odofin. And thank you, DG. I think we are fine. And some people on the chat were actually asking for this slide that if we will share with them. PSSDC already have the charts. Have the presentation. So they will decide what to do with it. There are several rights over the presentation, beyond the presentation. We have talked about the slide, we have talked about voiceover, but I think everything sank well. And I like the idea of the short test. It's a test to our persons, not a test to be recorded, as the DG has emphasized. It's a good one to show that actually, if you look at the responses, it shows a lot of people has also follow with keen interest. Thank you very much. And if there are other questions, as Mr. Odofin have stated, we are open to answer you. If you go through the route of PSSDC, we'll be willing to attend to your question. I know there is also a website for PSSDC where such things can also be addressed. Thank you very much for the opportunity once again, and good day to everyone.
Mr. Odofin.
Yes, sir.
Do not send those slides out yet.
Yes, sir. Noted, sir.
There is an amendment I'd like to make on one of the slides that I've seen.
Why not?
So it's just minor bit
Thank you, PS. We will not do that except to get your approval, sir.
Yes.
So I'll do
yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Before the parting shot, we want to call our DG, our Director General. If you have anything else to say, DG, sir, you are welcome.
Yes. Thank you very much. Let me start from the last comment that was made. We have in-house some very, very intelligent techie guy that would make sure that our website has a repository that you'll be able to access all the information on our training programs, especially with the webinar series. So for each of the webinar series, we are planning one for every month to the end of this year, and each of them, once they are done, and then the documents will be on our website to be easily accessible. And the website, as you know, will be easily accessible either from the Lagos State website link or directly to our website. We also have our social media handles that are very, very accessible and active. And, we are looking forward to everybody engaging more with PSSDC using technology. We want to encourage it. We are a click away, no matter how far away you are. It's easier for you to just go to the site and pick what you need instead of taking up storage space on your phones. So let's work smart. Let's work, efficiently. And having said that, I want to just thank my team, starting from Mr. Sholaja, Mr. Odofin, and all the great guys and the ladies in PSSDC who have done such a great job to get this started. Like I said, this is the very first one. We're looking forward to very important speakers from the key sectors in Lagos State. You can be sure that you only get bigger, better, and more interesting. We had about 300 participants on this one. We're looking forward to having at least 1,000 participants as time goes by. And we're looking forward to making sure we have capacity to support that number. Please, let the conversation not stop here. Let it continue on our social media platforms, and let's continue to synergize together for a greater right. Thank you very much. Then to my dear Permanent Secretary, Mr. Obajamo, and to Mrs. Ojo, you've been wonderful. You've really helped to get us started on a good footing. And I'm sure that the other speakers in the near future would realize that you have set the bar quite high, and it is a lot of people will be listening even more with more rapt attention to what the next speakers will be saying over the coming months. Our dear Permanent Secretary, Public Service Office, you've always been with us, no matter how tight your schedule is. Thank you for speaking with us and for representing the head of service, in showing that you are with us throughout. We know that our dear Permanent Secretary,
Thank you.
Establishments and Training, is also with us. I spoke with her earlier, and I know that she gives us all the full support. Our Honorable Commissioner, Establishment and Training, we are grateful for you, sir. And we are glad that you are always there for us to give us the support. Even to the House of Assembly, the Chairman, House of Assembly, the Chairman, House Committee on the establishments, and the civil service. He has always given us all the support that we need. So we are blessed, and this is going to continue to grow bigger and bigger. We'll have more participants, not only within the public service, but even in the other arms of government. Looking forward to that too. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and well done.
Our amiable Director General, I think Director General has stylishly given the vote of thanks on behalf of the management staff of PSSDC. But especially as the anchor man, I want to especially appreciate our amazing, amiable Director General for this wonderful initiative, its thoughtfulness, because when this program came up, we were thinking, how will it happen, especially on Saturday when people will actually want to have their rest. But it has confirmed today that anything is possible. So Adiji, thank you very much for that wonderful drive and your leadership. We appreciate you so much. The management staff of PSSDC also want to appreciate you for your support always towards ensuring that the Teams Plus agenda actually come to actualization. So in our own little corner in PSSDC, we are doing our best to support Mr. Governor's initiative. And that is why we have started with an important MD, that is the Ministry of Economic Planning and Budget. Once again, we appreciate our wonderful PS for actually the great work you are doing over there. We appreciate Mrs. Olayinka Ojo Mudupe for that beautiful presentation. Very simple, straightforward, and very, very eye-opening. And so, and to all our wonderful audience, the great participants, for taking your time, for using your data, and for the much you have internalized, I want to say thank you very much. In the next series, of course, please also make effort to join us so that we can have the Greater Lagos Rising initiative actually coming to reality. Don't forget, Igbiga Ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó, Àjùmọ̀ṣe ni o. For now, bye-bye. Thank you very much. God bless you. Enjoy your weekend. And to all our Muslim faithful, Ramadan Kareem. May God bless you all. Thank you so much. Bye-bye for now. Bye.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Odofin. God bless you. Thank you, DG.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you. We're looking forward to seeing you next month, by the grace of God, for another thrilling and knowledge-enhancing topic. Thank you so much. God bless you.
That's quite wonderful.
We thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bless you. God bless you.